ApotheBakery is a 2 to 4 player game for ages 14 and up with an average gameplay length of 60 minutes, published by Lux Lupo. The basic overview of ApotheBakery has players foraging by playing forrie cards to collect material cards. Then, with the material cards, they perform alchemy by drawing elixirs from the matching bags. Then use those elixirs on matching cure cards to heal adventurers and gain reputation. After 6 rounds, the game will end and the player with the most reputation wins. To set up the game, start by placing the wilderness board in the middle of the table, with the 3 to 4 player side up, or the other side if playing with 2 players. Then shuffle all wilderness cards together and place the deck here on the 8 stamina section. Then slide down 1 card for each location. Do not reveal these cards. Leave them face down. Above the cards, place the sun token on the open spot. Next, prepare the elixir bags. Depending upon the number of players, you will place a certain number of elixirs in each matching bag. In a 2-player game, put 8 matching pure elixir tokens in the bag, 2 impure tokens matching the color and have the explanation point, and 1 failed attempt token. In a 3-player game like this one, place 12 pure elixirs, 3 impure elixirs, and 1 failed attempt token. And in a 4-player game, use all 16 pure elixir tokens, 4 impure tokens, and 2 failed attempt tokens. Then take all remaining failed attempt tokens along with the spectral vial tokens, rainbow elixir tokens, and heart tokens and create a supply for each. Also keep the side effect die and turn order tokens nearby. Next to the board, shuffle and place the adventurer cards, diagnosis cards, cure cards, spell cards, and objective cards. Then place a number of adventurer cards equal to the number of players plus 1 in the middle of the table. Then draw and place 1 diagnosis card, dessert side up, on each of the adventurer cards, covering up the rewards. Then on the bottom half of the diagnosis card, place a cure card, elixir side up, on each. Now look at the heart in the top right of the diagnosis card. The number in the heart will let you know how many heart tokens to place on each of the adventurer cards. Go through each adventurer and add the appropriate heart tokens. Now for the player setup. Each player will collect a player board and 5 tokens: potency, transmute, rainbow, the mana, and purge tokens. A reputation dial set to 0. You can then place tokens on any of these open spaces on the board ability side up. Place the mana token on 12 in the top right of your mana track. Now each player will choose a forrie deck with a matching iridescent forrie. The forrie decks all correspond to 1 resource. Depending upon the deck chosen, the player will have a 1 stamina discount when foraging for a matching resource card. Set the iridescent card to the side and shuffle the forrie deck and place it in your play area. The game recommends skipping objective cards in your first playthrough, but if you wish to use them, give each player 3 objective cards. They can opt to swap unwanted cards for new ones. However, this can only occur once. And now you are ready to begin. The game plays over 6 rounds, and each round has 3 phases. The first phase is the foraging phase. Each player will draw 3 cards from their forrie deck. Looking at the forrie cards, in the top left corner you will have your stamina, and the species type will be in the top right. The species will always be the same as the chosen deck. The stamina is used to collect resource cards on the landscape board. At the bottom, in the heart, denotes the forrie's strength that may or may not come into play. Each player will choose 1 to 3 forrie cards to place face down in front of them, returning any unused forries to the top of their deck. Once all players have chosen and placed their cards face down, they will simultaneously reveal their cards. Once revealed, all players will add up their stamina totals. These totals will determine the turn order. The player with the lowest stamina will go first and take the number 1 turn token. Each player will take a turn order token based on the increasing amount of stamina. If players tie in stamina, the player who played less cards will go first. If still tied, add the strength total of the forries played, and the higher total will go first. And if still tied, the tied players will roll the side effect die, and the player with the higher number will go first. And if a skull, that means an automatic failure. Once turn order is determined, in said turn order, each player will collect resource cards using the forrie cards played. Total the stamina on your forrie cards and collect resource cards to put into your hand. Remember, if collecting a resource card that matches your forrie species, you pay 1 less stamina to collect it. The stamina amounts for each resource card are listed below each card. And if you have enough stamina to draw from the deck, you will take 2 cards instead of just 1. If you are unable to collect a resource on your turn, you will add your iridescent forrie into your deck and shuffle. When played on future turns, it will automatically make you the first player and can be spent to collect 2 resource cards from the deck. When adding resource cards to your hand, you will see the potency in the top left of the card, the type of resource in the top right, and the stamina modifier in the bottom center of the card. Once added to your hand, you can use the cards in the next alchemy phase or wait for the next foraging phase to increase the stamina of your forries. Once all players have collected their resources, we will move on to the alchemy phase. During this phase, players will use any resource cards they have in their hand to process elixirs. This is done by pulling elixirs out of matching species bags equal to the potency value of the card used. When doing this, you can alter your actions by using abilities on your player board. You can only use 2 abilities per turn, and the first ability will cost you 1 mana, and the second ability used on the same turn will cost 2 mana. For example, this player wishes to draw an additional elixir, so they will spend 1 mana to flip the potency token, showing that it has been used, and now they can draw an additional elixir from the bag, corresponding to the card they are playing. When drawing from the bag, you can draw a pure elixir, which is the best elixir, an impure elixir that has an exclamation point symbol, which may have unexpected side effects, or a failed elixir that looks like this. Add any and all elixirs to your player board inventory except for the failed elixir. Return the failed elixirs to the bag you drew it from, and instead collect a failed elixir from the supply and place it in your inventory. Be aware, you can only hold a maximum of 6 vials. Now, before drawing from the second bag, they wish to purge the failed elixir to have room for the new elixirs. They will pay 2 mana, since this is the second ability they're using, and flip the purge tile over and remove any number of vials from their supply. The player decides to just remove the 1 failed elixir and continues with their turn and draw new elixir vials from the next bag. The next player will take their turn. This phase can be played simultaneously, but for your first game, it is recommended to do turn-based play. This player wishes to draw elixirs from a different bag than the resource card they have, so they will pay 1 mana to use the transmutate ability. This lets them pull from a bag of their choice the amount of elixirs on the resource card they choose to use their ability on. And the third player will just use their resource cards to draw from the bags, and after collecting elixirs, they want to use the rainbow ability. The rainbow ability lets you exchange any 2 pure elixirs for a single wild rainbow elixir. Only pure elixirs can be used. Impure, failed, and spectral vials cannot be used. Now, moving on to the healing phase. In turn order, each player will choose only 1 adventurer to heal. They will place elixirs matching the cure card on the adventurer. If you notice on the top right of the cure card, there will be an amount of reputation points, which are the victory points you will earn by completing this cure card. For each impure elixir, the player must roll the side effect die. The results of the die will either increase if a positive number, or decrease if a negative number, the amount of reputation earned. It can also do nothing if the blank is rolled, or if a skull is rolled, the adventurer will die. No matter the outcome, you will complete the cure card and gain the reputation points on that card, along with any pluses or minuses the side effect die might supply. Instead, they will flip the adventurer over and reveal the ghost vengeance side of the card. However, they will not collect the adventurer card or the bonus reputation points on the adventurer card. This ghost effect will only affect the player that killed it, and that player will collect a spectral vial and place it in their inventory slot. If there is no room, they must discard a pure or impure elixir to make space. Other spectral vials and failed elixirs cannot be discarded. Only purged using the purge ability in the alchemy phase. Collect the cure card and diagnosis card and place it next to your player board. Now look at the adventurer card you just healed. Based on the number of hearts this adventurer has, you will earn additional points along with either spell cards or mana recharge, which will be identified by these symbols. This adventurer gives 2 spell cards. You are only ever allowed to hold 1 spell card at a time. In cases where you draw multiple, pick one and discard the rest. Place the selected spell card here on your player board. It can be used whenever appropriate. Then discard the adventurer. Moving on to the next player. They decide to heal this adventurer and use a wild elixir to complete their order. They will collect the cure card and diagnosis card, earn the reputation from the cure card and the bonus reputation from the adventurer card, and then discard the adventurer. After all players have healed their 1 adventurer, the phase will end and we will clean up and begin again with the first phase. To clean up, advance the sun token to the next round. Now, remove 1 heart from every adventurer still in play. If they still have hearts, nothing happens. However, if their last heart is removed, the adventurer will die. Discard the cure and diagnosis card. Flip the adventurer over to its ghost vengeance side. Since it died during cleanup, its vengeance will affect all players. That includes all players receiving a spectral vial if applicable. This player uses the spell they had to nullify the ghost vengeance ability from affecting them, so they are safe and discard their spell. The other players, however, have to deal with the ghost vengeance's attack. Then move on to the landscape board and slide down all uncollected cards left and refill the empty slots with cards from the wilderness deck. Now reveal new adventurers so they are equal to the number of players plus 1. Just like the setup, add a diagnosis card to each new adventurer and a cure card to each new diagnosis card. Add heart tokens to the new adventurer cards based on the hearts listed on the diagnosis cards. Then recharge all abilities on your player boards by flipping them back to the ability side up, and you are ready to begin the next round. Remember, in the foraging phase, you will draw 3 forries and play between 1 and 3 face down. When revealed, determine turn order based on stamina from lowest to highest. If an iridescent forrie is played, that player is automatically the first player. Now after turn order is determined, but before collecting resource cards, you can feed your forries by using resource cards you may still have in your hand. This increases your stamina, allowing you to collect more resource cards this turn. The amount increase is listed at the bottom of the resource card, and it is equal to the potency value of the card. Then continue to the alchemy phase, collecting elixirs and using abilities. Remember, only 2 abilities can be used per turn, and the first ability costs 1 mana, and the second ability will cost you 2 mana. Also remember, you can only have a total of 6 vials in your inventory. If you are full, you cannot collect, so be sure to purge any unwanted vials to make room for new ones. Remember, spells can be used whenever applicable. Now move on to the healing phase. Heal 1 adventurer per player, roll side effect die if any impure elixirs are used, and move on to cleanup. Advance the round marker, remove any hearts from the remaining adventurers, deal with any ghost vengeances if needed, refresh landscape board, and put out new adventurers as needed and refresh abilities. If this is the final round, instead of going through the cleanup, you will instead, in turn order, continue the healing phase. Do this until all adventurers are healed, or until the players can no longer heal any of the available adventurers. During this time, players can use their alchemy board abilities. Then once completed, any adventurers that were not healed will be considered dead, and they will be flipped to their ghost side, and their ghost vengeances will affect all players. Now we will move on to adding the endgame points. Score any and all completed objective cards if played with this game. Using this scorecard, we will look for each failed elixir and spectral vial elixir in the player's inventory. They will lose 1 reputation point for each one. Then the player with the most wild elixirs will receive 4 reputation points, adding from their cure cards and any elixirs left over in their inventory. The player with the most of each type will receive 2 reputation points for the different elixir types, and the player with the most reputation points wins. And that is how you play ApotheBakery. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified about new videos. If you're bored now, click this for more games.